Hi everyone, this week we're going to clean up the ablative a little bit and then review the ablative and the locative. So here's just the ablative with its prepositions, a lot of which should seem familiar to you, all right, and we'll use this when we talk about place expressions. So if you remember, in the temple, the centurion is in the temple, the centurion walks from the temple, and those are the two primary place uses of the ablative. The other one is to which, right? The centurion walks to the temple, but that, of course, uses the accusative. All right. Wow, this did not translate at all into this program. This was a great looking slide in PowerPoint, and look how it looks now. Anyway, apologies about that. Basically what it is a little mini flowchart for dealing with the ablative in general, right? So you might say, is there a preposition or not, right? If there is a preposition, all right, yes, which one, right? If it's cum, ablative of accompaniment. Right? If it's in, ablative of place where, etc. All right. If there is not a preposition, all right, are there any keywords that can help you? Okay, so maybe like a time word, which means it's ablative of time. Maybe it's like a thing, which means it might be ablative of means. All right. If there are no keywords or obvious ones, then you have to go by context. So this is just a general approach to dealing with the ablative overall, right? This is part of that ablative review. So think about ways that you can at least help yourself narrow down your choices when dealing with ablative uses. So is there a preposition? Yes. Which one? If there's not a preposition, what does the word tell you about what kind of ablative it might be? And then, of course, you've got to use text. All right, so these are a couple more ablatives. These are sort of the new ones from this week. So ablative description. Okay, and these don't occur too much, especially degree of difference. The description occurs a little bit. So a man with small feet, all right, and you can see the ablative there, right? And so really it's just functioning in an adjectival way. All right, a man of great virtue, all right, or great courage, all right, hair, the color of gold, literally with the color of gold. All right, and then degree of difference essentially explains by how much two things differ. Okay, so a lot of these ends up being adverbs, so much more beautiful, but really beautiful, more beautiful by a lot. All right, by much. All right, so a tree taller by 2 feet. All right, duobus pedibus. All right, higher by 2 feet. All right, and then a few days before, so before by a few days. All right, you're not going to see degree of difference too much, but it's worth knowing as we move. All right, so backing up a little bit. All right, place constructions and the locative. All right, if you remember, the key division is cities, towns, and small islands. All right, we'll talk about what small islands are in a few slides. Oh, ran out of room there. So non-cities, towns, and small islands will just use prepositions pretty logically and straightforwardly, right? So in templo, right, like we saw on the slide before, in the temple. Templo, like we saw on the slide before, from the temple. For to which, again, which is an ablative but is relevant to place constructions, ad templum, right? There's our ad plus the accusative. So for cities, towns, and small islands, however, all right, so for to which, place to which, and place from which, there will be no preposition. All right, so to which we'll still use the accusative, from which we'll still use the ablative, but there will be no preposition. All right, for place where, you're going to use the locative. All right, and basically, I'm going to go up top here because I'm kind of running out of room down below. All right, basically, the locative for first and second declension singular is going to look like the genitive. That's genitive, there we go. For everything else, it's going to look like the ablative. All right, and so you can see here, all right, so Romai, right, Romai is a first declension singular noun. So its locative is going to look like the genitive. So Romai means in Rome. All right, down below there, Carthagine, because that is a third declension singular noun. All right, and that goes in the all else category. That is going to use the ablative for the locative. So Carthagine in Carthage. All right. Oh, and I forgot to add, sorry, with cities, towns, small islands, these nouns, domus, rus, and humus. All right. We'll also use no preposition plus the locative. All right, so let's take a look at cities, towns, and small islands, really small islands. This is the coast of Massachusetts, all right, where I live, not on the coast, but in Massachusetts. Excuse me, and off the coast, there are two islands, Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard. All right, one of these is grammatically a small island, and one is grammatically a big island, even though, as you can see in the map below, they're roughly the same size. The vineyard's a little bigger. What it takes to be a small island, grammatically speaking, is a single major town or primary town, and that town having the same name as the island, and that would be Nantucket. Nantucket is the primary town on the island of Nantucket, and of course the island is named that. So, oh boy, hit the wrong button, sorry. So Nantucket is a small island grammatically. All right, the vineyard, right, has 3 or 4 towns, and none of them are named Martha's Vineyard. All right, you can see Edgartown and Oak Bluffs. Chilmark is actually a pretty tiny town. There's Vineyard Haven. All right, but none of them are named Martha's Vineyard, so that makes it a large island from a grammatical standpoint. So small island, one town, one primary town, same name town as the island. All right, and then this is the seal for the College of the Holy Cross, which is in Worcester, which is actually the city where I live. So you can see College of the Holy Cross here. But then down below, Wigorney, Mass. All right, Wigorney or Wigornium, I think it's neuter. It could be masculine. I don't know, to be honest. Is the noun for Worcester, and so that I ending, all right, on the end there, that is actually the locative ending. That's that singular second declension noun, where the locative will look like the genitive or use the genitive ending. So College of the Holy Cross, Wigorney, Mass, in Worcester, Massachusetts. So that is the locative expressing place where. All right, and so just for comparison's sake, I included a shot of the Colosseum just to represent Rome. So to see how all these place expressions work with a city and with a non-city. So in Rome, Rome, of course, a city, will use the locative, and we talked about how that is going to look like the genitive. So in Rome, Romi, versus in the city, uses the preposition in plus the ablative. And the city is, of course, a third declension noun. From Rome, all right, just uses the ablative without a preposition. From the city is going to use that preposition for from plus the ablative. And then to Rome, this is that place to which, so we'll use the accusative, but still no preposition. And then to the city ad orbem. All right, with the preposition. All right, so a couple exercises to go over this. All right, so just identifying whether or not these will use a preposition or not. So really you're determining whether we're dealing with cities, towns, small islands, or one of those special nouns. So if we start with number 4, Carthage is, of course, a city, so it will use no preposition. All right, number 5, home is one of the special nouns. It is domus, so no preposition. If we go over to number 9, Africa, of course, is not a city, town, or small island, so it will use a preposition. And Gaul, of course, is not a city, town, or small island, so it will use a preposition. I'll let you. Here are the answers if you want to pause. All right, and there are some answers. Right now, we are just choosing the Latin to translate the underlined English. All right, starting at the bottom, number 10. Athens lies to the east of Rome. That is not a place expression. So preposition or no preposition isn't relevant. It's just a straight nominative. Athens happens to be a plural noun in Latin as it is in English. So it's going to be Athenae. There's just that nominative plural. All right, number 9, in Rome. Rome is a city, town, small island, so we know what category we're in. And in is the place where, so that's going to use the locative. And we know that for Rome, it's going to look like the genitive. So Romi is correct. And then number 8, Spain, of course, is not a city, town, small island, so we are dealing with a preposition. Preposition from is ab, and there it is there. All right, here. All right, and on to some of this. All right, so a reading with a lot of long L names. Lysander, Lacedaemonius, Dicaris olitus est, Lacedaemonem, esse honestissimum domicilium senec tutus. All right, so Lysander the Spartan is accustomed to say that Sparta, and be careful that Lacedaemonium is the place versus Lacedaemonius is the adjective. That I is the only way to tell them apart. So Lysander the Spartan is accustomed to say that, we're going to indirect statement, Sparta is the best place, the most honest, the most forthright place for old age, for being old, for growing old. For NM, all right, nowhere is so much good, so much honor, so much something like that. Oh, sorry, hit the wrong button. All right, nowhere, I should say, for nowhere is so much honor attributed to old age or to age, all right, and nowhere is old age more respected. All right, and I will leave the rest to you. Oops, sorry, trying to do something here. So now I'm getting 2 dots. Never done that before. Okay. All right, here is the writing summative. So you're just translating the underlined words in English into Latin, and these are going to be various ablatives to work on. And I would point out this here. All right, that's that flowchart we're talking about, knowing whether or not a given ablative needs a preposition or not. Generally, English will use a preposition, but that doesn't mean that Latin will. So, for instance, if I look at number 1, of great piety, that's going to be that ablative of quality. All right, that does not use a preposition. So it's just going to be magna pietate. All right, no preposition. Same with number 2, right? This is Troia, city, right? So from Troy, no preposition for cities, towns, or small islands. All right, so just keep that in mind as you're going through this. That is it for this week. Thanks, and email if you have any questions.